time to do some gaming. Oh no, they found me. I gotta hide.
Hey! Where did he go? Come out wherever you are. I know you're in here. Oh. Perhaps he left. Aha! Out with you! Now! Out! Come on, move! Now!
Okay, I'm sorry. What do I have to do to get Bill out of this?
Well, there's a presentation that you still need to do.
Wait, really? That's it? Piece of cake. Why, hello there. I am Ethan Eggman, and I am here to give you a presentation about deaths in faiths. So these slides are written by me. And this stuff is researched by me. It's presented by me. And this joke is by me. So, let's start off with the first group here, Buddhism. So, to Buddhists, death is inevitable and even embraced. And those who die, they're reincarnated based on karma. You know, what goes around comes around. I'm a good person, I get good things. I'm a bad person, I get thrown in jail. So, the death, it should be peaceful. They really hope it's peaceful. And, you know, it'll be with friends and family and all that. And once they do die, the body's not to be touched for around 4 hours. And cremation, they prefer cremation as, you know, going on, because you get reincarnated as a different person. And the funeral is held either at the home of the person who died or at a monastery. And so monks, they'll be leading the funeral with sermons, chants, prayers, things like that. And then these funerals are often open casket. They'll have both an image of the person who died and of Buddha. And the people who attend, they can leave things like candles, flowers, fruits, incense too. And then afterwards, the casket is closed and moved to be cremated. So next off, these funerals, you know, before they get cremated, they're around 45 to 75 minutes. The person who died, their family, will wear white, whether it just be cloth, so like this stuff, but if this was white, or like just clothing. And then everyone else who attends, those who weren't really family, they will wear black, sort of like this. And then the monks, they will wear orange, like this. So, something that's not to be worn is jewelry, because that shows that you are wealthy, and that's not in line with the Buddhist customs, now is it? Some other things that are done at these funerals, it includes people having walking sticks to show like, hey, I am in need, help me, I am grieving. They'll also ring gongs or bells, also offering cloth to monks, you know, on the deceased's behalf, of course. And then another thing they can do is just pour water into an overflowing cup. So like this was just, oh shoot, it's spilling everywhere. For mourning, there's multiple days set up. There's the 3rd, there's the 7th, there's the 49th, and the 100th day after they die. And then, you know, when they get to move to be cremated, friends and family are going to be helping carry the casket. And then, when it comes to marriage, it's not prohibited. Like, you can get married if you want, that's fine. But they don't like it because there's attachment. Attachment, it leads to weakness, leading to no way to reach nirvana, which is, you know, state of pure bliss. You know, suffering, being attached, needing things, wanting things, stuff like that. If you don't want things anymore, then that is essentially the goal. So yeah, with that, we will move on to our next thing, Hinduism. So, Hinduism and Buddhism are very similar. And with Hinduism, funerals, they're held immediately after the person dies and last around 30 minutes. They're a lot shorter. And they also prefer cremation. That's done like 1 to 2 days after death, 24 to 48 hours. And 10 days after they die, a ceremony called a shraddha is held. And it's held to pay respects to the person's ancestors. And when they're cremated, that takes place at the Ganges River. Now, the Ganges River is very important. I'm going to put up an image right now. As you can see, it's normally quite crowded here. The Ganges River, it's seen as the primary location to help, the deceased be reincarnated, be into a new life, things like that. And throughout history, it's been important to people as a source of religion, of course, sustenance, water, travel, river, and sanitation, which, with how many people are there, it's not that good anymore, but hey, it's important. And yeah, it's crowded because of that. Anyways, let's move away from the Ganges into the next thing. So body, when it gets to the Ganges River, going back to the Ganges, I know I said we're leaving the Ganges, but we're going back to the Ganges. It's washed in the Ganges River. Special ingredients are going to be used in this process, like milk, honey, yogurt. The person's also anointed with essential oils. And then they're likely going to be covered in a white sheet. In the modern day, this could be, they could be dressed more stylishly instead of being covered in a sheet. So they'll also have flower garlands and rice balls be set around the deceased body, and also sprinkled with water afterward to represent cleansing. Like, hey, you're dead. You're cleansed now. So the mourning period, this will last until the Shraddha ceremony. And when you go to these funerals, unlike the Buddhist funeral, everybody will normally wear white to it, except the monks, of course. They'll still be wearing orange. And then you don't want to bring gifts. I repeat, you don't want to bring gifts. Because gifts are just not good. Because you're meant to be sad. You can't bring gifts, place to be sad. And then afterwards, when they're finally cremated, the ashes are going to be scattered at their chosen body of water, primarily the Ganges River, but if they want to do a different one, they can. And since they believe that there's no beginning or end of a life, they'll just reincarnate to a new life. And during this mourning period, those who are grieving, they're considered impure. Therefore, they can't really go to sacred places, so temples, things like that. Yeah, I think you've been a bit tired of hearing a bunch of Buddhism and Hinduism. So let's hear about another thing that you're tired about hearing about, the Amish. Amish, they don't fear death. To them, it's a natural part of life, and they also see it as an entrance to the eternal afterlife with God. And so when somebody dies, their body is first cleaned before being sent to a mortuary. That's where it's embalmed. And then what this person wears when they die for the funeral, it represents what they wore if they were married, when they were married. But it's not the same thing. It's freshly made for the occasion. And then members of their community, they all try and visit the home as soon as they hear about the person who dies. Wait a minute, they died? Oh shoot, you're right. And so, because this, they'll just go over and pay respects. And this burial takes place about 3 days after death, and then before then, the funeral is held, the grave is dug, things like that happens, and then everything is prepared by the community. And like even the coffin, that's freshly made, the clothing freshly made, stuff like that. So something to be expected is that everyone in the community is expected to attend the funeral, and it's normally held at the home of the deceased. And then what the deceased wears, again, similar to what they wore the wedding day, but freshly made. And then those who are mourning go and wear black. And then the family, they will wear black for like an entire year after death. And these customs, very closely tied to food. After the funeral, meals are held similar to their weddings. Things like pies, casseroles. They're made after the service. Delivered in baskets. Again, made by the community, like made for the occasion. Everything is made for the occasion. And the community, they greatly lessen the pain of this loss because they're there for each other. And then the spouse of the person who dies, they can remarry, whether or not it may be for companionship. And yeah, that is the end. How did I do?
I don't know. Guess we're just gonna have to find out.